Listen, if the chain of videos I'm making here, there's something that the fact that it's interrelated in such a core way, that is, that the two things aren't different. It well, if you've watched if you've watched the lead up videos to this, then we'll just start from where we left off. Um, at one time, we over here, like what we looked into was what are called water futures. Yeah, curiosity, just how, just because you see, there's a move, like there's a move that is one of these, you know, I think like the woman is from Canada. She's sort of the main sort of, well, sort of will be in history books in the future. But she's done. She's, I mean, she's sort of the main figure in the movement to get the United Nations to declare that water is a human right. And the thing that caught, like, when what caught our attention here is, there are, like, there's always been this, like, sort of, it is one of those things that when it comes to things like, it became clear that while every other, there's nothing else like that. It was that there are people, what's a human right and what's not a human right, and what's the right, what do but in terms of what are you to expect from your, you know what are you entitled to. The thing is, though, like, that it became clear, like, within enough, once again, like, things that someone older than I, like, it simply isn't there. They already, they're this is new. That, like, the fact that water short that the shortage of water is not, the fact that the shortage of water reached the point where, like, where there's it's sort of incredible, like, if one wants to be, like, you know look ahead, they look at, as where what would be, we're already trading water futures. I mean, it reached that point before it became apparent that the degree of people that do not have water to drink, that it's so pervasive that it's come this way. I mean, for a long time people are aware of things happening in the global south, but the idea that water shortage is here now, that it's not like something to be the amount of people that do not have access to water, and that it's so pervasive and happening so fast, that it arrived in the industrialized world that quickly, that quickly. And it's a kind of thing like that it happened so fast. But why it happened so fast, that is what we need to talk about when we talk about the best example of this thing that is based here and integrated with our state apparatus, in which we pay for, essentially, this new kind of capital formation in the agro sector. One of the things that's not known, or known by some people, not known by others, is that the speed at which the entire, what would be called a developing world, became, where the sort of majority of people, like, have no clean water, and that it can't, and that such a phenomenon has arrived already in the industrialized countries. That is that the hydrological cycle of the planet can't keep up with the rate at which water is being depleted, and that it had happened within less than 30 years is itself like something that's so alarming that to say, well, there's a water shortage, and not mention what by what mechanism that happened that fast. It was That's not marginal. Like, it's one thing which, people are worried about all kinds of ways in which people in the developing countries are deprived of things, so on and so forth. The fact that the millions and millions and millions of people have no clean water to drink, and then it spread to the industrialized countries shortly after. It's come here already. It's in the industrialized world already. But not that one would not have been. There wasn't. It was just okay. But here's the thing. This thing that's evolved, as we said, this entity that is here, but it's based in so many other places that the fact is, it's unclear what it has no. It's based everywhere, and it's integrated with our state apparatus. This agro sector, that their activity like actually caused something like that. It was why, if someone doesn't know, why is it possible that millions and millions of people have no clean water or any water to drink? They're already at the point in the developing world people are actually drinking water that will give you water. It's already that they're drinking water that will give them dysentery because they're dying of thirst. And there's no clean water, and now it's in the industrialized world. How did that happen so fast? That's an important question, and this is the reason that all domestic capital formations that pollute and cut down trees and do this and that. There's they're national capital formations, and they're behaving in a way that indicates they don't care about the environment. But there was a sort of it's something that there can be agreements to stop it. There's an environmental movement. It's not this thing that happened. It's important to explain what's taking place with this agro sector that was able to devastate the entire planet like this, and it happened so rapidly, and that it's simply now there's a movement that the first thing that has to be in place is the United Nations. All nations have to agree that water is a human right. That's the first step. Like that. But it's why is it happening so fast? I want to explain how this giant entity, this agro sector, what it's been doing and why it's been doing it, because it is this. It's the following. When all the developing societies use what is the only way, and we did it here too after the Civil War, it just wasn't called this, but it's called import substitution industrialization. That is, they built their national economy, but and then protected their domestic capital formations from competition on the international market until they had industrialized first. You can't, otherwise there can be no industrialization. When they moved to the phase which would be, theoretically they were simply just going to compete on the, in the international market, what ended up happening is this. The way this agro sector that operates is this. They do something with crops that's like, okay, so I'll give example in another sector that's familiar, okay? There aren't like, there's a parallel to it. Okay. Both Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi, they do taste different, and their diet, people like one and not the other. But the thing is, there's any number of ways or flavors of making those sodas. They could taste subtly different in a variety of ways. But they found the one that that's most popular with the most people. So there's no need for there to be. It's not like beer. You know what I mean? There's only one kind of Coca-Cola, and it tastes the same. They located what is the most popular. There's no need to have one that tastes slightly different, or one that's it's unnecessary. You locate the sort of the right ingredients that appeal to the largest amount of people, so that you might eat like either Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi, but there isn't it's not like a lot of people don't like either one, and there needs to be several other flavors. They located what's the most popular flavor of that thing. Okay. When the agro sector began to look into the fact that okay, back up. What's called structural adjustment came to these countries that had industrialized by closing their markets and doing import substitution industrialization. It's the only way it's ever been done. After that, when their markets were open and everything, here's the thing. They part of what's called structural adjustment is that they need loans to develop. I mean, they were a variety of reasons, but these IMF and World Bank and these kind of sort of institutions that are there to sort of provide development funds. What was developed here is what's called the Washington Consensus. Washington Consensus is basically that was handed over to these people who give loans to developing countries, and they said that the loans will only be given for development on the condition that you make the following structural adjustments to your economy that are beneficial to the industrialized countries, which is this: we want your country to produce crops for export. Okay, that will work best in the international market. You're in a place where there's a lot of agriculture, but you're growing it to feed yourselves and so forth. When these corporations come in, what they're going to do is, and this will be beneficial, is you'll be growing crops to export to the industrialized countries. That'll work best. But until you make that adjustment, that is, you're not growing it to eat or growing it to do this and that, but you'll be growing it for export. And those are the new rules, that we want you exporting into the industrialized countries, and that's what you'll do there, is grow things, and then they'll be bought over here. And that's the way we would like to design the global system, and that's what we'd like you to do.